guys, it's Laura. Welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited to be reacting to another Black Swan song today. This is a recommendation to me by Sriya. Sorry if I said your name wrong. But this is a Roll Up, and I'm already excited. You guys know that I love Black Swan's videography. I think they pick like such cool locations and such beautiful landscapes. So I'm really excited to get into this. Let's get started. Ooh, that electric guitar. I mean, that acoustic guitar. This already has kind of a country feel to it, and I'm curious as to how do they take it. Ooh, like a old saloon. Oh, I want those card earrings. Ooh. Yeah. When I step in the room like that, oh, totally changed the dynamic. Ooh, those red dresses are cool. They feel pretty flamenco. Ooh, that was cool. That synth in the background. Vocals on point as usual. Ooh, that's so powerful with all the ladies. Ooh, that was a cool image. Ah, in the desert, they look so good. Ooh, the harmony there. Ooh. Oh, I wasn't expecting it to end there. Okay, really enjoyed this song. I thought it was a complete jam. I was surprised though, because I thought it was going to go in like a country feel, and then it completely did not. That was just the introduction. So I really loved that change up because it surprised me. I always find when music is intriguing and surprising and keeps you guessing that you can like have all these twists and turns, and it just makes music so interesting. It's one of my favorite parts about music. And I was talking about the visual aspect, but this time, usually when the last couple of NVees that I watched from them, they focus a lot on the outside visual aspect, and this time they didn't as much, only the desert a couple of times. But I really loved the visual aspects that they did with all of the women dancers, you know, with Black Swan and the dancers, and I just loved that. It was so powerful. It was so much like women power, and basically they're just being like, if you're hot enough, roll up. Like, come on, like, let's go. I thought that particularly in this song, I really enjoyed their singing. Not that I haven't before, but I really enjoyed it here. They did a little more power, grittiness. I really loved the dynamic flow that they had here, and I loved how they harmonized. I thought it was just a really nice change and difference, and I freaking loved it. I also loved the red dresses. I thought that they all looked stunningly beautiful. Stunning. I wasn't as big of a fan of the blue jean style, but then again, I am not a fan of jeans in particular. I hate pants. It's always funny because people are like, why do you always wear skirts and dresses? I'm like, because I hate pants. That's just a personal thing. I think they look really good on other people, just I don't like them. So sorry, I just had to be like, sorry, I did not vibe with those outfits. But I understand what they were doing with it. I just absolutely love this. I really hope that their company will start to give them more proper promotions. You can tell they spend a lot of time and money on their NVees. What I would love to see, and I'm really glad they were on K-pop, I would like to see them increase more in the Western field. I feel that they have the kind of sound that Westerners will really love. And it's not to say that Koreans wouldn't love this kind of sound. I think that this sound has difficulty gaining traction in Korea because there's so many groups who have... There's just so many groups that are coming out right now. And so I think getting traction in South Korea is just really difficult, especially when you've been around for a couple of years. You kind of, even if you're working as hard as you can, you have, a lot of things. There are a lot of groups that I'm a huge fan of who I think are so talented. They do so much, but they just battle and battle and battle those top 3 or 4 companies to really get noticed. And that's because there's so many of them. And I think this is kind of changing in Korean culture is, more people are starting to interact with more groups. It used to be when, and this is when I saw this first, when I first got into K-pop. And I was even like this because that's just kind of how it was for K-pop, is that, in the West, we follow lots of different groups, right? One of that being is they don't produce as much music in the West. They can take an entire year, 2 years, 3 years before they come back with an album, and then they do a tour. And in Korea, we're really quite blessed because they have a lot more comebacks, right? They do a lot more things. And they're touring all the time. They're doing a lot of things. That's because the demand of their fans is to consistently to release that music, right? So they have more of a demand of that kind of thing. Whereas Western artists still have that demand, but they have more the luxury of time with them, and part of that is just the way that music media is consumed throughout the entire world. The US has one of the biggest music, markets. And then, I think China or Japan is number 2. And then Korea, I want to say, is down to number 6. No. UK is number 2. Japan or China is number 3. Something like that. It's been a while since I've looked into the logistics of that. But, and I'm sure it could probably change from the last time I looked at it. But regardless, usually when you are a fan in Korea, you're a fan of one group and one group only. So you focus on that. So the more attention there is on that group, the more fans you gain, right? And with that, usually it's with those groups that have larger companies because they can promote more, they can go more variety shows, they can release music more often with a higher budget and those kind of things, right? So coming from a smaller company, even though you produce something amazing like this, it's hard to gain and grasp that recognition. So sure, people, they'll go on music shows and they'll be like, oh, they're great, but then they won't stand them because they're not consistently seeing them. And I do think this is changing a little bit. I've started to see more people be like, more Korean fans be like, oh, I like this and this group. So usually it's like a rock group, like a band group, and then like a pop group. So I think, you know, we just have in the West, we've always had this luxury of we just love music no matter what, right? So we like a whole bunch of different groups, different artists and things like that. And Koreans do as well, but I'm just saying for the fandom culture, you know, I've experienced this in K-pop that, you know, usually Western fans will like a whole bunch of groups. So for instance, like you'll like ATEEZ and Stray Kids and 17 and BLACKSWAN and Meow. Like you would like all those groups, cause you know, and you would go to all of the things. But that's not necessarily true for Korean fans. And so I just think BLACKSWAN has such a beautiful ability to like make this visual, beautiful, powerful music. And so I would love to see them start to try to do more things in the Western world. That's why I really liked seeing them on K-pop, because I'm like, that's another way to reach a Western audience. So I really hope they continue to do amazing things because they're so talented. I know BLACKSWAN has been a group that's been through so much, but I really just want them to succeed and do well. And I wish everything for them. Like I said, nothing but the best. So tell me what you guys thought of this song. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you kind of agree with some of my ideas of why they might be struggling in Korea? And what was your favorite part of the NVee? I'm really curious. I think my favorite part is definitely when all of the ladies were standing there. They were just like, they were in the triangle formation. Oh, it was so powerful. I was like, yes, women power right there. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.